Hello, so in today's video we're going to be looking at substitution. Now what we're going to be doing with this then is we've got some algebraic expressions and we're going to be substituting the different values for each of those letters into these expressions. Now I'm using expressions today, but we could also have formulae, but the process is essentially the same. So I'm just going to go through how you substitute into formulae and just a few reminders for you about the use of negative numbers and also BIDMAS, which is your order of operations, if you remember that. Okay, so first one, we have A plus B plus C, so nice and straightforward to start with, and all we need to do, I would recommend that you first of all write out the expression or the formula that you're looking at, and then underneath that replace each of the letters with the numbers that have been assigned to those letters. So in this case, A is 5, B is -2 and C is -4, and I'm going to keep those same values for each of these 4 questions just to make it nice and simple. So instead of an A, we're going to write 5 plus B, which is -2, plus C, which is -4. Okay, I'm just going to put brackets around my negative numbers just to sort of show that is the value for each of those letters. Okay, and then we need to remind ourselves about negative numbers. Now if we add a negative number, it's the same as just taking away that number. So 5, essentially if we do plus -2, we're just doing the same as 5, take away 2. And likewise here, if we're going to do plus -4, that's just the same as overall taking away the number 4. Okay, so that's nice and easy to get that in that form to make it more straightforward for you to be able to answer the question from here. Okay, next step then, you look for your order of operations. Here we've only got subtraction, and if we follow the rules of BIDMAS, which I'll just write up for us here. Now if you remember, the B stands for brackets, so if there's any brackets that always has to happen first. The I stands for indices, which is powers and roots. The D and the M are grouped together, and that stands for division and multiplication, and then A and S is addition and subtraction, and they're right at the bottom. Now if in any calculation you're doing everything is of the same kind of level, so we've got 4 distinct levels here, then you just do the calculation as if you're reading left to right. So just like you would read a book in English, you do the calculation the same way in maths. So with that in mind, we're going to do, we've got all subtraction, so we're all the same level, we're just going left to right. 5 take away 2 is 3, so we keep that in our head, that's 3, and then we subtract 4. Now if you want to do it in stages, you can write out that part. So 5 take away 2 is 3, and then we're going to copy down the next step, which is take away 4, and 3 take away 4 is just -1, and so that is our answer. Okay, so if you like, we can put that up there as well. Okay, the next one then, B plus AC. Now if you remember in algebra, if we put 2 letters or a number and a letter next to each other, that means multiplication, so you need to remember that. And just the same as we did on the first one, we're going to replace the letters with numbers. So B is -2, so we're going to write -2 plus A is 5. Remember, because it's AC, that means times, and the C is -4. Now, BIDMAS, we need to apply that. Looking across here, we have got multiplication and addition. So if we look at BIDMAS, multiplication is the level above addition, so that has to happen first. So write everything else out. So we're going to have -2 plus, and then we're going to do our multiplication, which is 5 times -4. Now 5 times -4, 5 times 4 is 20, but we've got a positive number multiplied by a negative number, so that is -20 overall. Remembering from your work on negative numbers previously. So now we have -2, add on to that -20, and if you remember from up here, if we're going to add on a negative number, it's the same as just taking that number away, and so we have -2 take away 20. Think about your number line. Okay, if I'm at negative 2 and I'm going to take away 20, I need to go down another 20, that just helps you visualise it. I'm going to get to negative 22. Okay? Right, next one. Now we've got numbers and letters mixed in together. So 3b plus 2a. So same as before, write out what the letters are. And remembering 3b means 3 times b, or 3 lots of b. So 3 times b, which is negative 2, plus 2 times a, which is 5. Okay, and then you just look at that calculation. So following big maths again, multiplication has to happen first. But we've got 2 lots of multiplication. We can do them both at the same time. So we can do 3 times negative 2. Remembering a positive times a negative is negative overall. And 3 2s are 6, so that makes that negative 6. And then we put down our plus, and we can do this multiplication as well. 2 times 5 is 10. Okay, so now we have just one operation, which is addition here. So negative 6 plus 10. Okay, again, think about a number line. This time we are at negative 6 and we are going up 10. We're moving up. Now if we go 6 up, we get to 0. So think about how many more you need to do if you're going to add on 10 altogether. Okay, and the answer there is 4. Alright, so if you think about it in those ways, quite often it's much easier. Right, so the last one on this video, and I'm going to do another video, there's another video coming up on substitution as well. But if you look at this one, I've put brackets in here as well, just to add that kind of level of difficulty. So this time we've got b brackets c minus a. Now bearing in mind what I've told you, when we don't write an operation down, that means times, so it's b times the c minus a. So do our substitution. B is negative 2, bracket. Now we can leave it as a bracket like that and deal with it in a moment. And then c is negative 4, take away a, which is just 5. Okay, now brackets is at the top of our list, so we must do that first. So we're going to do negative 4 take away 5. So if we're at negative 4, okay, so again think about your number line. You're at negative 4 and we're going to take away 5. We're going to go down 5. That's going to get us to negative 9. So what that actually gives us is negative 2, and then that means times, doesn't it, when we don't have an operation written there, times by negative 9. And now we have negative 2 times by negative 9. 2 times 9 is 18, and a minus times a minus is positive. So the answer is just 18. Okay? So as I said, there's another video as well if you want to look at more complicated substitutions, including fraction bars and squares and square numbers, etc. Okay?